Good day. Today we're looking at creditors reconciliation, and when we do that, we're going to look at this question where we have to. They're going to give us a table, and on the table we have to adjust the creditors ledger account, which is our record, as well as the creditors recon statement, which is their records. Important to know who's who. Clear Traders buys goods on credit from Mariti suppliers. We buy on credit, so Clear, that's us, and Mariti, that's them. Important to know who we are and who the supplier is. Eventually you can get a bit confused with the names. So that's the first thing. You can, even on the paper, wherever it mentions Claire, above it write us, or Mariti, above it write them. Then you can't get confused. They give us a creditor's ledger, our books, for Mariti, and they give us their statement with all the transactions. So the first thing would be to compare the two. When we do that, when we compare them, it's important that we know that whatever's in our credit column will be in their debit column. What's in our debit column will be in their credit column. It is a mirror image, just the opposite. In our books, it's a creditor, a liability. It increases on the credit side and decreases on the debit side. But in their books, we're their debtor, so it increases on the debit, decreases on the credit. So just the opposite. So firstly, we will go through our credit column, compare it to theirs. If the amount is the same, we will tick it. So on our side, we've got 81,000. They've also got 81. So I can tick both of them. They are there. 40,950. No, it's not there. 25,000. Yes, there it is. So I can tick it on both. 50,250. No. 8,100. No. So on ours, the 4950, the 5250, and 8100 still outstanding, and on theirs the 2250 still outstanding. If we look at our debit column, 33750, yes, it's on both, so I can tick it. 8640, no. 5400, no. 77190, no. So the only one, 33750. Good, we'll get back to that later on. The incorrect, now we're going to do the differences. The incorrect entry on debit note 674 in creditors ledger, our books, or relates to the correct credit note on their statement. So our debit note incorrect, their credit note correct. Important, we issue a debit note if we return goods, but they will issue a credit note if we return goods. So where we've got a debit note, they will have a credit note. Okay, so let's look at how we will do that. So first of all, we'll put in whatever we've got in on our ledger. So we've got on our ledger for debit note 674, we've got 8640. 8640, but they say that is incorrect. They've got, let's just see, they've got 6840. 6840, that is the correct amount. So next step, work out the difference. So it's 8640 minus 6840 gives me 1,800. Have we got more than what it should be or less? We've got 8640, which is more. So we've got more than what it should be on our. So if we've got more, we've got to do the opposite to fix it. If we've got less, we do the same. So we've got to do the opposite to fix it. What did we do with the credit note? Did we make the account less or did we make it more? When we return goods, we make it less. So we made it less. So what is the opposite? To make it more. So we must make the ledger more with 1,800 Rand. So we will add 1,800 to the ledger because we must fix. Let's just put there. For the first one, we must fix. Good, and we must add 1,800. Important when we do the table, you must indicate, if you don't put an indication, it means you add. But if you're going to deduct something, you must put a minus or you must put it in brackets. Let's look at number C. B. Invoice 282 was incorrectly reflected in the account of Marty Suppliers in the creditors ledger. So the creditors ledger, again, wrong. The ledger is wrong. We must fix. So for number B, we must fix again. Good. Now must we fix it? Let's put in what we've got on the ledger. Okay, so it's invoice 282. We've got it in as 40950. 40950. Let's see what should happen. It incorrectly reflected in Mariti's account, but it was purchased from Genesis. So it should simply not be on Mariti, it should be on Genesis. So we must just take it out of Mariti. It is an invoice. The invoice made the amount more. So we made it more. So how will we fix it? We must take it out, do the opposite. So we must make it less to get it out. So for B, we must simply make it less with 40,950. C, invoice 360 was incorrectly recorded on the statement. Statement, them. So they must fix. So let's put in C. Good. So C, they must fix. What did they put in there? 360 was incorrectly recorded on the statement, so they've got it in as 20250. 20250, that is the incorrect amount. It should be, let's see what we've got because we were correct, 50250. So 50250 is the correct amount. So the difference between it is 30,000. Let's see, what did they do with the incorrect amount? It was an invoice. Invoice means they made the account more. And they made it more less than what they should be. So if they've got it less, they will do it the same. Okay, let's put in there. But it was less than what it should be, so they must do the same. So to do the same means they've got to make it more with 30,000 because they did not put through enough. So they must make our account more with 30,000. That 20,000 is less than 50, so to get the 20 up to 50, they must add a further 30,000. Let's look at D. They also purchase goods on credit from us, so they're a debtor from us, and we then transferred a debit balance from the debtors ledger, journal voucher 570, and they must still do it. We already transferred it, they must still do it. There it is. Journal voucher 570, 5,400. We debited the account because they had a debit. We owed them money. So if we transfer it, it means they owed us money. If we transferred it, it means we will owe them that amount less. So we made the creditor less with 5,400, and they must still make it less with 5,400, which they haven't done. So they must still deduct the 5,400. With E, transaction on the 24th is for merchandise returned to Mariti. Return means we had to make our account less. What did we do? There it is. We actually made the account more. Credit more. What did they do? Credit in their case is less. They made it less, so they were correct. But we made it more instead of less. Important when we make an account less, or if we put something through on the incorrect side, we've got to make sure that we fix it twice on the correct side. Let's just see why. If I owe somebody 150 and I return 50 of those goods, it means I don't have to pay for them. After the return, I'll owe 100. If I now make a mistake and instead of deducting the 50, I add it, it means now I owe them 200. But that is now wrong. I pick it up, I must fix it. If I only fix it once, I'm just reversing the incorrect entry, which means I will then owe them 150, which is what we started off with. I must then also put through the actual correct entry to get to the correct amount that I owe them. So if we've got something on the wrong side, a debit instead of a credit or a credit instead of a debit, to fix it, I must put it through twice on the correct side. So the 1,800 or the 8,100 that was on the incorrect side, I must put through twice on the correct side. So I increased it, so I must decrease it twice to get it fixed. So I'm going to minus 8,100 twice. Important to remember that. When we get to F, statement reflect transactions up to 25 July. In other words, their statement will only have entries up to the 25th. You can see the last one there was the 24th. We've still got transactions after that. Okay, the journal we already fixed, but there's also a check and discount for 77190 that they haven't got on the statement, which they must still put in. So they must fix it. So from the statement, we must still put through the 77190. If we pay, we will owe less. So we must make the account less with 77190. So they must make it less with 77190.